Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here doing another M15 Swiss draft. I've reinstalled the client. We're going to see if I'm able to see my opponent's graveyards now. Hopefully I am, and we don't have any other issues. I do have to remember during match one, hopefully I can. I should almost like write it down, but I have to put up all my stops again. Alright, so we got Goblin Kaboomist here. This guy's pretty good. And he's cheap too. Oh, I still have all my sound effects on too. I'm going to have to fix that. But yeah, nothing too crazy otherwise. Kaboomist is a cool card. If you buff it, you can just keep spitting out little mines. I like him. I'm going to pick him, and I'm going to pause it and turn off the sound. Alright, where I couldn't figure out where the sound was in time, so I guess I'll just do it after I've built my deck. What are the good picks here? Waste Not. Interesting. It's not going to be the pick. We've also got Illusory Angel, which is very good. Elvish Mystic, obviously, you get a ramp. That's good. Flesh to Dust, good removal. I think I'm going to take the Inferno Fist. Very good card. I love that it both buffs and shocks things. Very versatile aura. I really like the direction they're moving auras into. They were in need of a power jump, so this is definitely a good one. Netcaster Spider, also good. Nothing too crazy otherwise. So let's go ahead and snipe a little removal. Alright. Now, actually, even though it's only third pick, I feel pretty justified in taking Forge Devil. I actually like Forge Devil a lot. There's a ton of good X1s in this format. Welkin Turn, the Oresco Swift Claw are two that immediately come to mind. And I know that there's more than that. It's just, even the Foundry Street Denizen, being able to take that out for 1 mana is very nice on turn 1. So I actually just like Forge Devil a lot. I think it's a good card. Oh, I should probably make these bigger. Maybe make this bigger too, so you guys can see it a little bit better, huh? I'm going to have to resize things just to let you know, so. Okay, but what's the best card in here? Probably, maybe Wall of Mulch, and actually Invasive Species is pretty awesome. I mean, Invasive Species is certainly better than Forge Devil. But I like the Forge Devil. I've played it in multiples before to kill things, which is actually really nice. I know it's just a 1/1 or whatever, but I don't know. I like it. I'm going to take it. Okay, so here we've actually got some good options. Covenant of Blood, obviously in black, fourth pick, very good removal. Black-red is good. There's also Juggernaut, which is a very efficient beater. There's also Scrapyard Mongrel, which benefits greatly from the Juggernaut, but I think I actually want the Juggernaut first because it's more often than not better than Scrapyard Mongrel, I would think. I mean, it does have to attack each turn, but the fact that it's got an upside of can't be blocked by walls and it just costs colorless mana makes it an attractive pick for me here. So I'm going to take the Juggernaut over the Covenant of Blood going into black and the Scrapyard Mongrel. Continue to see what is open. Okay, so no red picks available to us. So other options now. We have Into the Void, bounce 2 creatures. That's very good. Turn to Frog is a very good trick. Glacial Crasher in blue-red tends to work really well since it's just 6 mana, 5/5 Trampler. I think really my pick is between the Into the Void and the Turn to the Frog. And I think Into the Void is actually better since bouncing 2 creatures is pretty devastating sometimes. So we're going to snag the Into the Void. Okay, now we have Torch Fiend, Evolving Wilds, Meteorite, Void Snare is very good. There's some good artifacts in this format for sure. There's also cards that benefit from people playing artifacts, so I can definitely see the upside of playing Torch Fiend and picking it here, but I don't know. I'm pretty comfortable taking the Void Snare. Getting a 1 mana bounce is very good, especially with the powerful auras in this format. Meteorite is decent, but I don't think it's the pick. I really think it's either Void Snare, Torch Fiend, or maybe even Encrust, but I'm going to go with the Void Snare. Hopefully we can do something a little bit aggressive, but I think having that I'm not going to be unhappy with. Okay, so nothing special here for us, really. So I guess I'll take the Ornithopter maybe. It's decent with Inferno Fist, and maybe I'd play with like Scrapyard Mongrel, or if I end up getting an illusory angel or something like that. Alright, well, Mercurial Pretender. Pretty good. Juggernaut's a pretty good copy. Forge Devil's actually not the worst copy ever. Sacred Armory seems like a pretty legit card. The late game. Just buff your guys. Yeah, it's either the Pretender or the Sacred Armory, I think. Well, I mean, my main issue with Pretender has always been you can only copy your own guys, which I just don't like all that much. But I think in this case I'm going to try it out. It's early enough where I can still be picking up some good creatures to maximize value with. Alright, so Foundry Street Denizen, but I think I want the Peel from Reality. I don't know. Foundry Street to me is... I've never liked this card. I've always been a really aggressive player too, but something about Foundry Street just not exciting. Like, I strictly like Forge Devil more since it actually can kill something. Whereas this is like, it's great if you play it on turn 1 and then proceed to play multiple creatures for the rest of the game. But you draw a Foundry Street Denizen on turn like 5 or 6. It's just such a shite card. Alright, gonna take the Lava Axe here. Nothing else too crazy. And Lava Axe is fine if I can be more aggressive. Currently I kind of like the direction we're going where it's like red-blue tempo-ish sort of thing. We can take the Thundering Giant, that's fine. It's actually a decent Pretender copy as well. Chrono Stutter is actually, I think it's an okay card. I mean, it's overpriced, of course, but I usually get them and I never end up playing them, so I don't know. That doesn't bode well. Alright, Aeronaut Tinker is one of those cards that benefits from playing artifacts, but I probably wouldn't jam an Ornithopter just to play a Tinkerer. But that's some good bonus. It's a nice perk of having Juggernaut for the Tinkerer. Alright, Table the Glacial Crasher. That's great news for us since it's actually a straight up legit card in our deck. I guess we can hate that, and sure. Well, there's an Ajani Steadfast. Got to assume he's worth some money, so probably just taking that. Otherwise, I would jam the Heat Ray, no question. Get some solid removal. But yeah, we're going to take Steadfast. I don't know, maybe we'll end up with an Evolving Wilds or something. I'll try and splash it. Seems like a pretty splashable card. Give something +1/+1, First Strike, Vigilance, and Lifelink. Buff each creature and put loyalty counters on other dudes. That's not bad either. And then Emblem, if a source would deal damage to you or planeswalker you control, prevent all but one. Jeez, that's pretty good too. But yeah, taking some cards, it's worth some tickets. Alright, so now we've got Ensoul Artifact, which we already have the Ornithopter and Juggernaut. Juggernaut is not a good Ensoul Artifact target, but Ornithopter certainly is. Comes a 5/5 flyer, which is pretty huge. Otherwise, Borderland Marauder is probably a little bit more what I'm looking for, just because we're looking like we're a solid, we can potentially be a pretty aggressive deck, and Borderland Marauder is very good for that. The reason I say we're looking like we can be aggressive is we've already got Void Snare, Peel, and Into the Void, which really sets people back, but we already have decent couple early guys that look good, efficient beaters. I don't know, I'm kind of into it. Kind of want to take the Borderland Marauder here. Just get a nice 2-drop. See if we can't get some more removal, like Lightning Strike here. So yeah, we're going to jam the Lightning Strike now. Other good picks in here. Divination, Hunt the Weak, Sungrace Pegasus. Yeah, there's other good stuff in there for sure. Alright, now we can pretty easily snag up the Heat Ray. I'm going to take it over the Krenko's Enforcer. Even though Enforcer's good, removal, in my opinion, has a big premium, so I'm going to take the Heat Ray over the Blast Firebolt. It's definitely better in my opinion. Alright, so now it's actually kind of cool. We can take another Peel from Reality. We can take the Scrapyard Mongrel, which, I know it's good, but it still doesn't motivate me to play Ornithopter. I'm not just going to play Ornithopter because of Scrapyard Mongrel. I could take the second Peel from Reality. That card's always good. I think at this point I do want the Mongrel, though. Especially if we're probably not playing a Ajani Steadfast. The Mongrel's just very good. Alongside Juggernaut. we could definitely end up with more artifacts as well. So typically I take removal over creatures, but in this case I kind of like the Mongrel. Alright, Borderland Marauder number 2, that's a good sign. Otherwise Research Assistant is fine too, but this deck is definitely, if I'm going aggro, I'm going all out aggro. So I've got to just snag as much removal and stuff like that I can. Well, Glacial Crasher tabled last time, so I assume it will again. We could take a second Lava Axe. We also have Willforged Golem, which isn't bad. Actually pretty good with our Mongrel and our Tinkerer. Maybe we take the Golem. Otherwise, I would just take a second Lava Axe, which is fine, but I actually think the Golem's pretty good in here. We've got some cheap creatures going already for us, so this guy could potentially be cheap and turn on cards for us. All of which are good. Let's hide the Ornithopter already. I don't think I want to jam that. Okay, so now I can take Crowd's Favor, which is a totally legit trick, or a second Willforged Golem, or a Blast Firebolt. And there's also Covenant of Blood, but I don't think I'm going to jam that one. I think we just easily do Crowd's Favor here. It's a nice cheap trick. We're aggressive, so being able to play a trick for free is always good. Okay, now we can take the Evolving Wilds, so I guess we could potentially splash for the Ajani Steadfast. But to be honest, I'm kind of interested in just taking the Void Snare here. That's just totally what we're looking for. Jam out guys early, bounce when necessary, tempo them out. The more the better. Could take a second Thundering Giant. I'd easily play a second Thundering Giant over a Mercurial Pretender in this deck, I think. Could also play the aggressive Mining, I guess. And someone wrote in the comments that this was designed, as it says on the bottom, by Marcus Pearson, who made, I don't know, I think they said he had something to do with Minecraft, so kind of cool. Little trivia there. I mean, I guess I could take aggressive Mining. I'm going to take aggressive Mining. You know, I never take it. It's a rare. I could potentially play it. All right, I guess we'll take Divination now. I guess I could take Invisibility as well, which is actually pretty good on the Marauder, but I'm going to go Divination. We can take a Radiant Fountain, I guess. Take a second Crasher. I don't know if we're going to play it. Hydra Surge, sure. Okay. Not super color intensive, so I guess Radiant Fountain is an option, but you know, when you're trying to be aggressive, you don't want to really mess with your mana base too much. So far so good though. Got 23 cards, they're all pretty playable. Okay, Borderland Marauder number 3, and we are definitely starting to get Omega aggressive here, which I like. Let's get as many more of these dudes as we can. I certainly wouldn't complain about more lightning strikes, anything like that. More burn would be nice. I know it's asking for a lot, but let's get rid of the Pretender. I already don't like him. Jeez, it's pricey. No good red or blue, which is kind of a letdown. Guess we'll take the Foundry Street Denizen. We're aggressive enough at this point where I guess we can make it work. Like I said, never thrilled about picking him up, but I guess in the case of this deck, it's pretty legit. Alright. Chasm Skulker's a great card, so we can take that. There's also Shrapnel Blast, but I'm not really down. It's not bad. There's also Hammerhand, which is pretty good too. I think Chasm Skulker's fine for this deck. Yeah, it's not aggressive right away, but pretty awesome to have an inevitability card. I'm going to take him. Let's hide one of these Glacial Crashers. And okay, so I can take Research Assistant, but it's not a very good beater. I think we're more in Brawler's Plate territory. Maybe we don't need the aggressive Mining per se. And then maybe we can hide the Divination as well. And really just focus on stuff like that. Not really into the Polymorphist. Coral Barrier's fine, but not exactly what we're looking for. I guess we can take the Denizen. We're trying to be aggressive, so let's be aggressive. What do I hide? Or what do I... What do I not play for that? I mean, we could try and get away with 16 lands. There's nothing in our deck that's super color or mana intensive. We top out at 6, but this has Convoke. We might play 16 lands. I'm not sure yet. I gotta think about that one. All right, Turn to Frog is a pretty legitimate trick. Hammerhand's not bad. Getting rid of a blocker for a turn for 1 mana can be pretty beneficial. Turn to Frog is a pretty nice trick, though. I guess it's not that good against our 3 1 toughness dudes. Kaboomist has 2 toughness, I guess. Negate's not bad either. Turn to Frog is nice. Hammerhand might be more what we're looking for, though. Especially, I don't know. I'm going to take the Hammerhand. I don't know if it's right. Turn to Frog might be better. It's definitely a good trick. Military Intelligence giving us card draw would be very nice. I think Amphin Pathmage might be what we want, though. Making stuff unblockable is pretty awesome. I don't even know what I'd cut for it at this point. We're sitting pretty with our deck. Everything's looking pretty good. Maybe if we play 16 lands, we can get rid of the Crasher, even though he's good. So if I take the Pathmage, what am I cutting for that? I don't even know. I have so much good stuff in here. It's tough to say. I'm gonna have to figure that one out. All right, I guess Nimbus of the Isles flies. Otherwise, Meteorite is burn spell in parentheses. I could play Meteorite to splash Johnny Steadfast, but I really don't think this deck absolutely needs Johnny Steadfast to win. I think it just needs to power out cheap dudes and bounce stuff when necessary. I guess Nimbus of the Isles flies. I probably like it more than the Thundering Giant. But then again, the Thundering Giant has haste, which is good. I guess we'll take the Nimbus. He's a pretty legit creature. Alright. There is a Darksteel Citadel, which will turn on Mongrel and Tinkerer at no real cost to me besides my mana base a little bit. I can probably get behind that. Living Totem's actually a legitimate spell, so I guess I'll hate that. Second Hammerhand. There's also Shrapnel Blast. You can totally do it with Darksteel Citadel. At this point I have 4 artifacts I can launch for 5 damage. It's not bad. It's really not bad. Otherwise, Hammerhand number 2, which is also okay. Jeez. I'm going to take the Shrapnel Blast. Not 100% sure it's going to happen, but I'm going to try and make it happen if I can. Hate that. Sure. Okay. So, ended up getting 4 artifacts and the Shrapnel Blast. I'm trying to think if is 4 enough to do the Shrapnel Blast, or I can't really, not 100% on that. And I have to make cuts too because I've got so many good cards in here. It's a nice problem to have, but I gotta figure this out. Alright, let's make this bigger. Move this up. Guess I can make this bigger too. Separate stuff. 15 creatures, so I don't really want to cut any creatures. I guess Darksteel Citadel doesn't exactly count as a card in the deck, but if I play Shrapnel Blast, I'm going to want to play it. 5 damage out of nowhere is really nothing to scoff at. I'm really trying to think if 4 is enough. 4 artifacts. I don't know. Maybe we do cut the Hammerhand just because I ended up with so many good playables. I'm going to try and make the Shrapnel Blast work. I like the big damage on it. I could cut the Peel from Reality, but I do like bounce as well. I guess I like Into the Void probably more. I don't mind Peel from Reality at all. I think it's a good spell. I'm just going to cut it from this deck because I think this deck is trying to be just a bit different. A bit different in how it plays stuff like that. So, final cut. I like all of this stuff. It's all good. Crowd's Favor is great. Heat Ray, Double Void Snare, Shrapnel Blast, Strike, Infernal Fist. I love all of those. Brawler's Plate. I can't really comfortably cut any artifacts because of Shrapnel Blast. Lava Axe is just a really nice finisher for these style of decks. When you just get in and they've built up a defense, it's nice to just be like, okay, 5 to your face. I guess I can technically cut a creature, but which one is it? I guess it's either Nimbus or Thundering Giant, so then we can more easily play a 16 land deck. Kind of makes sense. Thundering Giant's got better interactions with our Foundry Street Denizen. Nimbus of the Isles evades. I guess we'll go with Thundering Giant. So we did cut down to 14 creatures, which I'm not thrilled about, but I just really want to play all of these spells. So let's sort by color. Much more red than blue, and thankfully not super color intensive anywhere. Thundering Giants are only double red spell, and there is no double blue, so I feel a lot more comfortable about playing the Darksteel Citadel now for Shrapnel Blast. Let's add some basics. They see, I don't really like that. I'm more in line with like 9/6. Do I, well, let me think about this. I only have 6 blue spells in the deck. I definitely need red early, but kind of need blue early to play Chasm Skulker. I don't really like playing less than 6 of my secondary color. But I mean, I understand why they would say that. Because I don't really require blue until... I definitely am not playing Void Snare early most of the time. I don't know. I'm pretty comfortable with this build, I think. We're going to try this out, and I'll see you round 1.